ira canta de pé. Ondaço Bahia. Na yo nem ya ya. Ela ila ela. Olele. Ela ila ela. Olele. Ela ila ela. Olele. Olele di kijior marinheiro. Olele di kijior marinheiro. Samba no mar marinheiro. Samba no mar marinheiro. Samba no mar estrangeiro. Samba no mar estrangeiro. Oh, sim, sim, oh, não, não, não. Oh, sim, 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 oh, não, não, não. Oh, sim, 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 oh, não, não, não. Oh, não, não, não. Oh, não, não, não.
Oh, you were
Hey.
doing so well.
Little capoeira there.
Yes, indeed. I had to definitely record that for posterity.
Well, you know, I've been doing that, so, you know, you got to sing a song or two every now and
I
then.
know. We did a little capoeira in the park today.
Yes, you were too.
Yes.
I caught you, but you caught me more. So,
You're my teacher. All right.
well, sometimes you have to be careful of being a teacher because you get caught up by the student. If you get caught up by the student, you're along with the teacher.
Yes, you are.
You're something like a adversary.
No.
But I don't want to call you that.
No.
Okay, here we are once again.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who've been watching, you know that my name is Odie Hawkins, and I'm the author of some books, and this is one of them. This one is called The Snake 2020. The Snake 2020.
Yes. There we
The
go.
cover was done by my friend, the artist
Cedric Adams.
Cedric Adams.
Yes.
I just hesitated to say her name because I wanted to be dramatic and pause.
Oh, I see. Okay, pause.
The artist's name is Cedric Adams.
Yes.
The back cover photo was shot by Salena-Hawkins.
Yes.
How about a little drama there? Huh?
There we go. Okay. And Snake 2020, very, very similar to the snake, is more of the colloquial speech of the characters, while the snake was made into
it's a
United
complicated
English.
thing, and we'll just leave it at this. The snake was originally published in the wrong linguistic format.
Yes.
So this one is in the right linguistic format. You can't have a man 80 years old speaking in an English accent.
Well,
So that was a linguistic boo-boo. This one does not repeat that, I guarantee you.
well, I guess if it was done by Shakespeare, it would have been that way.
Leave us not quibble. Leave us not quibble.
Moving on to...
Moving right along, we're going on to chapter 18.
Amen.
Our man Kojo Bediako Brown, no relationship to my friend Kojo Yanka. Some people are named Kojo because of the day of the week they were born on. Kojo has returned. He has some commitments to honor. He has a responsibility to do certain things in order to make himself eligible for, I guess you might call it a little miracle. And he's met at the airport by his girlfriend of some years. You know how it is that people fall into a thing and they wind up going with each other for years and they don't know whether they should just go live together or get married or something. And next thing you know, it's 2 years later. And this is the kind of thing that's happened to them. They're both extremely talented individuals. Akosua Ferguson is a novelist and motivational speaker and all-around whiz kid, you might say. Kojo is, as we've described him in earlier chapters. And let's get together here at Los Angeles Airport, which is not a good place to be at all. The best thing to do is to be away from there.
Well, see, oh, okay, I see. You're going to read a little bit from before.
You got the question.
Okay.
You got the answer.
Okay.
They've come into town, that was in chapter 17, and gone to his apartment after they've had a couple of glasses of wine at Perlamo's Italian restaurant, and the guy has been in the air for 16 hours, anyway, he's jet-lagged and all the rest, but he still wants to be the beatenest hero, which he fails at miserably on this particular occasion. And he and his love-to-be decided to just go to sleep and forget about it. As a matter of fact, it becomes a joke. This is the next day. He unpropped his feet from his desk, grabbed a legal pad and ballpoint, and began to put his organization together. The first thing I need to do is write each one a personal letter explaining what I want to do, and we'll go from there. A mid-afternoon siesta had given him the extra energy to continue his organizational work. It was 11:30 p.m., time to study a movie before wrapping it up. He went to his video shelves. Let's see, what do I need? Remember, this is a director and a film nut, so in between thinking about everything else in the world, he's constantly thinking about one movie after another. Even when he saw, for a young man of 25, he has put his head into a lot of old film features.
He's focused.
Let's see what I need. Dinner with Andre, brilliant piece for another night. Moby Dick, whose joke were they playing? From Russia with Love? Nah, too much glitz. This is Sean Connery. Blood and Sand, old freaky Tyrone Power. Gone with the Wind. When did I buy that? Why? I don't know nothing but by having babies, Miss Scarlett. Papillon, Dustin Hoffman, Steve McQueen. Casablanca, love you, Ingrid, but not tonight. He's looking at you, kid.
Looking back.
Key Largo, Edward G. Robinson as a Capone, Bogart. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Bogart at his best. The Outlaw, that old big buster Jane Russell and Howard Hughes' Western bra ad. Saturday Night Uptown, shit with Travolta on it. Cotton Comes to Harlem. More shit with Red Fox to be in it. Harlem Nights, even more shit. The Toy, Richard Pryor. How could you sleep so low? Well, I'm sure cocaine helped a lot. The Godfather, Vavavoom, Siciliano Negro. 5 on the black hand side, more shit than before. Sunday Last Summer, HUD. Patricia Neal forcing Newman to sit up. Sweet Sweetback's badass song. You killed him, Van Peebles, you slick ass you. Hollywood said to Melvin Van Peebles after he made that, got away with making that, you will not have lunch again in this town. And he didn't. The Sun Also Rises, Errol Flynn playing himself. Buffalo Soldiers, yeah, stick stuff. Pichot, why couldn't they find a black boy? Quilombo, to the band. Lambada, Floor 6, standing up. The Red Lantern, Polysex, Chinese style. Chica, black Brazilian sex from a white POV. Mambo, Silvana Mangano, when she was the finest Italian actress on the scene, with Kathleen Dunham furnishing the steps. La Strada, poor Giulietta Messina. Seven Beauties, Giancarlo Giannini, the man with the most expressive eyes in the world, directed by Lena Wertmuller, one of the best. Mon oncle, Jacques Tati, merci beaucoup. Under Milk Wood, saw that coming back from home. Nothing but a man. Aha, just right for me right now, a man doing what he has to do. Thank you, Ivan Dixon. He set himself up with a medium-sized goblet of San Diego, with a bottle of San Antonio Burgundy and settled in his favorite chair to watch what Ivan Dixon and Abby Lincoln had to go through to remain together. A real film about authentic African Americans in 1945, 48, somewhere like that, in deepest Alabama, or is it Mississippi? They both sisters say the same thing. After the fade out, he stared at the screen for a few long moments, feeling once again gratified by the acting, dissatisfied with the length. That movie should have been 2 hours long. We should see him go back with his son to his wife to racism, to see him become Medgar Evers the first. He yawned and stretched. What am I doing? Taking their movie and making my movie. Time to go dream a bit. Kojo took pride in knowing how to care for himself. It was one of the things that Dad has always stressed while he was growing up. Kojo, treat yourself good. If you decide you want to drink scotch, drink the best in the world. If you're going to be involved with a lot of stress, learn how to de-stress yourself in the wisest, healthiest way possible. Always go for the goal, kid. Anything less is second best. A quick bath in a tub saturated with skin so soft, and the beautifully cool white cotton pajamas. Lights out, moonlight in. He folded his hands across his stomach and stared at a laughing quarter moon. The Dogon had astronauts in ancient times, no doubt about it. And what about the Tibetan walking monasteries, where they taught people how to walk across thousands and thousands of miles in a day? And the Peruvian landing strip that received extraterrestrial visitors, external planetary travelers. Who knows what the indigenous people of Brazil are doing, have been buried with? Asiafo. The Aztecs, the Dogon, the Melanesians, people who could communicate with sharks. Polynesian, people who could move volcanoes from island to island or insist that they not erupt before time. Pele. The Eskimo supermen living on ice, eating snow, creating babies with ice picks. The Kalahari guys wandering around in 2,000-mile circles picking up ostrich shells of water that they had buried 2 years before. The incredible Africans who used to upset the world's financial patterns when they went on pilgrimages and decided to take some of their gold with them. What was his name? Musa Mansa. Africa. I was just there less than 3 days ago. He sat up in his bed, amused by the thought, and slowly resettled himself. I was on the continent, the place where it all started, where the first family kicked off, the place where everything was first understood and understood, as my Rastafari brothers would say it. Understood and overstood. Ignore the personal stuff. So comfort became comfort and grace became grace. Nothing important about that. Well, what is? Kojo squeezed his eyes shut and tried to see what was important. Asiafo lit his darkness up like a candle, munching on a banana. When he opened his eyes again, it was tomorrow. He blinked through the filmy veil that the Japanese call icon and stared at the sky. Bright, sunny morning. My second morning back in America. Time to do the routine. The routine gave him a balance for the rest of the day. After the capoeira and Bonsdal, the shower and breakfast, life was apt to be hectic, if not chaotic. The thing to do is grab control of the tiger's tail at the top of the day. Is that an ancient proverb? Oh. Grab control of the tiger's tail at the beginning of the day. Cold coffee.
Good coffee.
The first call of the day to Mom and Dad was loose, almost jolly. They were busy and he was busy and they'd been to Africa several times. Kojo, save it till Friday, son, because you know you're going to have to repeat yourself a half dozen times. You okay? I'm fine, Mom. Everything's on track. Good. We'll see you tomorrow night. How in the blessed world could I have been gifted with a set of parents like that? Roundabout Oludumare. He sipped his orange juice and took a deep breath, exhaled slowly. 9:45 a.m. Time to deal with the moguls. The name is Kojo Bediako Brown. Yes, I'd like to speak to Mr. Dryson. Mr. Dryson is in a meeting right now. Can I have him call you back? The Drysons were always in a meeting. Yes, have him call me back as soon as possible. He has my number. Meeting my ass is just purely a method of screening calls. Okay, who's next? This is Sheila Buttram, please. Kojo Bediako Brown calling. He loved to use all of his names when he called the studios and production companies. They seemed to attach more importance to the call when they heard Bediako. Or was that purely my imagination? Kojo, great to hear from you. When did you get back? Yesterday. Oh, great, great. Listen, read your thing. Want to do lunch at your house about tomorrow. Tomorrow's good for me. Great. Mustache or Melrose, 1:30. After the Hollywood guys have done their thing. 1:30 tomorrow is fine. Terrific. See you then. He caught the beginning sentence of her next deal involvement, or her phone hit the cradle. That's the way it was. The deal was the thing. Nothing else matters. Great, great, great. Terrific, terrific. Everything was done in superlatives. Everything. If there was the slightest opportunity of anything making money, it was great, terrific. U.S.C. had been an invaluable university in terms of understanding the Hollywood mentality in caps. Kojo felt capable after his 4-year stint there of dealing with everything. Goldstone, forgot Goldstone. Frank Goldstone, please. Kojo Bediako Brown calling. 1 moment, please. Wow, I must be called during a break in his sex life or something. Seconds later, Goldstone entered. Kojo was tempted to laugh at the ultra-cultivated, mellifluous tone of voice, the fake atmosphere of quietude. Hi, Kojo. Great to have you back, Guy. Well, how was it over there? You couldn't sound more enthusiastic if you were asking about the quality of a pound of monkey shit. What can I say, Frank? Africa. Yeah, I know what you mean. Hold on a sec. Gotta get this guy before he runs down to Palm Springs. Kojo felt like hanging up on his interrupted call, but had to cancel out the emotion. These are the assholes I'll have to deal with in some form or fashion in the future. Can't afford to alienate anybody. 8.5 minutes later, Frank Goldstone's suave tones re-insinuated themselves on the line. Sorry, Kojo. Just had to talk to one of those guys who doesn't want to understand anything. Now then, we're talking about you doing a little assistant directing on Emerald Jungle. Love that title. I think I pretty much gave you the complete scenario when I called. A couple of kids lost in the vastness of the Brazilian jungle, raised by savage Jivaro Indians, you know, the babies who used to take heads. Sorry, Frank, I'm not going to be available for this one. Kojo could hear the machinery of Frank Goldstone's mental factory shut down for 5 hard seconds. Other commitments, huh? Well, yes, I guess you could say that. Okay. But look, if it's a matter of money. No, Frank, not that. I know you're a generous guy. This is just simply a conflict with another project. You don't have to explain, Kojo. I understand. Well, we'll keep in touch, okay? Yeah, Frank, we'll keep in touch. Kojo knew that was the last time he'd ever hear from Frank Goldstone. He had turned down the opportunity to participate in a Goldstone project. That was a no-no, a serious ticket to the minor leagues. He's probably passing the word around now. Don't have anything else to do with Kojo Brown. He's gotten to be a bit full of himself. The darker parts of his scenario was interrupted by his phone ringing. Mr. Brown? Yes? One moment, please. Mr. Dryson calling. A 10-second pause for Dryson to slice through another call before getting to Kojo. He took careful note of the measured tones, the deliberate effort to seem cool. Evidently, they had all been counseled by the same PR psycho speech teacher. Kojo, great to have you back. Now then, we're talking about a baby for UTD. Sorry, Henry, looks like I'll have to pass on this one. Once again, Kojo heard the machinery shut down for 5 hard seconds. Think we're going to try to feed you peanuts, huh? No, it's not that. Look, Kojo, I've got a meeting 30 minutes ago. Why don't we take another look at this, say, Monday? What I'm trying to tell you is Monday, say about 10-ish. Look, really great to chat with you. Looking forward to hearing about how many lions you killed and all of that. Okay, take care. Yeah. Click. What did I miss? Oh, yes. Bascom and the Danish deal. Mr. Bascom, please. Kojo Bediako Brown here. Oh, Mr. Brown. Mr. Bascom has been waiting for your call. One moment, please. Been waiting for my call. Do I believe I can fly? Do squirrels love peanuts? Bascom's voice, heavy grain from a past addiction to Camel cigarettes and shouting at people. Where the hell have you been, Kojo? I mean, why in the hell would you want to go over there? Who the hell do you know in Africa? That's okay, don't tell me. Look, let me tell you why I called. Hold on a sec. Kojo leaned back in his chair, visualizing Charlie Bascom, head of Bascom Studios, chomping on a Romeo y Julieta, growling like a Rottweiler at people being tyrannical. Sorry, Kojo, just had a son of a bitch's head to him, you know what I mean? I have some idea. Now then, I'd like to arrange a get-together to rap with you about the jazz series. My girl will give you a clear hour on my schedule. Sorry, Charlie, I'll have to pass on this one. What? What the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about doing a 6-parter on jazz greats of the 40s, 50s, 60s, and maybe the 90s. What's with you, guy? You contact a little fever over there in the jungle? Kojo could feel the red anger rise in him, the kind of anger that made him feel as though his eyeballs were burning. This racist bastard. I wasn't in the jungle, Charlie. Well, whatever. Look, I got a meeting. If you come back to your senses by tomorrow, give me a jingle. Otherwise, we'll have to go to Spike or maybe Johnny with this one, okay? Okay? Kojo deliberately, gently replaced the phone in its cradle. Thank God I don't have to work with you assholes anymore. The letter to Jan Alborg, Film Department of the University of Copenhagen, was a pleasure to write. I'm available during the course of the coming month, August. After August, I will no longer be available. Many thanks to the Film Department of the University of Copenhagen for making the decision to deal with my documentaries. I'm sure that our mutual experience will be extremely rewarding. Now, onward to the hard letter writing. What the hell can I possibly say to a profoundly talented group of African American professionals plus one Asian organization freak? Dear Thelma, dear DJ, dear Philip, dear Sid, dear Akosua, I don't have to worry my way through a letter to you, we'll talk. Dear Jackie, dear Michael, dear Ed, dear Mac, dear every damn body. I want you to be a part of a dream I've had for years. The idea is to come together and create an authentic African-American film era. We've come close from time to time. I think Oscar Micheaux was the pioneer figure in that direction. What I'm proposing is that we start off on our own with Birth of a Nation. Yes, a silent film from our own perspective and go from there. We can bring it all the way down to the red herring days in Hollywood, Washington, when Dalton Trumbo and the Hollywood 10, or was it 15, were hounded out of the industry where brothers and sisters hadn't even been thought of. I was invited to a panel discussion during my U.S.C film days to deal with the effect of the loss of a number of very talented screenwriters in the movie industry. I almost caused a riot by suggesting it would be ludicrous for me to be up in arms over the plight of some white people, men, women, who had decided to defy McCarthy and the Red Baiters. Why should I feel anything for them when my own people haven't been given the opportunity to write screenplays? During the era under discussion, all African American writers were considered communists or outcasts or just simply niggers. As you know, we really haven't stepped too far from that kettle of fish. I'm not writing you in an egotistical way. The great Kojo trying to gather up his troops and all of that. I think you all know me well enough, and we've worked with each other long enough to know where my head is. Someone has to do it. I'm doing it, and I invite you to do it with me. I'd like to get together with you on the third Sunday in September about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Looking forward to seeing you. Bravely, Kojo. He flirted with the idea of rewriting the note and cancel it. What the hell, I'm not going to be able to say any better than that. Now, I hope I've got everybody on the old Rolodex here. Akosua floated about the house, fluffing up pillows, double checking her Brazilian stew, the vatapá. Vatapá, chicken, shrimp, garlic, onions, olives, pimentos, coconut milk, love. We'll have it sometime soon. She tastes a tablespoon of the seasoned liquid. This is Akosua at home.
Oh, I think we have a picture there too.
Is there
Yeah,
a photo of
Yes.
Akosua at home?
I think so.
Let's see.
Here.
This is yes. Akosua at home. In her sarong. Don't worry, she's here. This is LA coming into town. And
Okay.
this bright orange tinted photo is Akosua at home. Love that sarong.
There we go. Okay, we got her. Okay. All right. Akosua at home.
Akosua. I can do what I want to with my photos.
You can do what you want to with Akosua.
Akosua flitted around the house. I'm still reading from this book, remember?
Yes, I know. I know.
Fluffing pillows, double checking her Brazilian stew, the vatapá. Vatapá, chicken, shrimp, garlic, onions, olives, pimentos, coconut milk, love. I repeated the recipe just in case somebody wanted to do it.
Yes, yes.
She tasted a tablespoon of the seasoned liquid. Ah, yes.
What's it called again?
Vatapá. V-A-T-A-P-A. Accent on the last A. Ah, yes. And with this good French bread and this white wine. Ah, amen. 5:45. Time to do a quick shower and put on something sexy. She literally danced through her house, tripping on Alice Coltrane's Oludumare. This is just bad. Too bad they didn't have the opportunity to righteously get it together, she and John. The phone buzzing caught her off balance. Wonder who it could be. Oh well, they're calling at the wrong time. This evening belongs to Kojo, every minute of it. She listened to the voice being fed into the message unit. Since Akosua This is your mom. I'm just calling to remind you of our shopping date to Saturday. It looks like I'll be able to drag your father out of his easy chair to buy a new pair of shorts. He promised at any rate. We haven't seen you or heard from you in the past few days. Hope everything is okay, all right. As you know, crime has reached epidemic proportions. Your father and I were discussing the problem last night. And it's especially rough over there where you are, with those Latino gangs and all. Well, that's it for now. Please don't forget Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. Bye now. Your mother. Just in case.
You didn't know?
Just in case you know. Your mother. Akosua stood in place, allowing the message unit to click back into a receiving mode. She hated her mother's voice, the nasalized whine of it. She had used that whine very effectively for years. She whined her husband into submission and tried to do the same with Akosua and failed. Cynthia? I'm not going to answer that name again, Mom. My name is Akosua, and that's what I want you to call me. Well, all right, if you insist. But that doesn't have anything to do with your rejecting membership in the Young Republicans Club. It's prestigious. The connections you make will be invaluable. Mom, I do not want to join the Young Republicans Club. I don't want to have anything to do with those people. They're all crazy. Are you implying that your father and I are crazy? Of course not. You're not Young Republicans either. I just don't understand you. We've given you the benefit of a superior education, travel, whatever you've wanted, and now you're turning your back on all of it. I don't understand. Well, maybe someday you will, or maybe you never will. I gotta run. Got a date with a couple radical magazine editors. Shower, splash the heavenly skin tonic everywhere. Now let me see here. She pushed the mirrored door of her closet open and studied the contents. The red and black striped harem pajamas. Yeah. 6 p.m. She carefully arranged herself on the wraparound Swedish sofa, sipped a chill glass of bourrée, thumbing idly through Essence. How I did a quick double thump, listening to him pull into her driveway. The chimes told her that he was on the front porch. Hello, lover. Hi, Kojo. He placed the bottle of bourrée and what he had brought on the coffee table and folded her into his arms. Groovy woman. That was one of the adjectives that sprang up in his head. Groovy, lush with her feelings. What's that I spell? Vatapá. Oh yeah, the Brazilian thing. I love that. Take the weight off your feet. I'll get you a glass of wine. Oh, I see you brought bourrée too. You know how it is when Trader Joe's comes up with something good. You better grab it. Have you had the Shaw Chardonnay? He slouched on the sofa feeling expansive, relaxed. A well-chilled glass of white wine. A wonderful Brazilian meal, a beautiful woman. The music changed from Alice to John, and then Johnny Hartman. You know, it's something that is really a tragedy those two men put together. It has to be some of the most romantic music on earth. I used to... I must agree. Come on, let's get our back. The food will be ready in about 15 minutes. Kojo walked through the house admiring the taste and elegance of the decor. The polished hardwood floors, her bedroom, writing asylum. I stole that directly from you, Kojo. I'm glad. The outback was 10 yards of sloping green lawn that made it seem as though the city's lights were twinkling at their feet. They had spent midnights and dawns out back. They sprawled on the round sofa bed deck chair, using the pillows to obtain better perspectives. Akos, this is beautiful. Yeah, it's what sold me on the house. They sip their wine and stare at distant points, thinking creatively. Kojo, won't eat out here? That'll be fine. Let me help you clean the table and chairs out. Dining in the open, a sophisticated picnic. A bowl of mixed salad, a bowl of vatapá, fragrant French bread. They ate like hungry people for a few minutes. Baby, you you really put your little finger in this one. The edge of the appetite bitten off, they settled back to sip and dine at leisure. Kojo, I've been dying to ask you, what did you find that was most negative about being in Africa, in Ghana? Now please, don't get me wrong, I'm not after the negative, I'm after the balanced look. I know what you mean. He chewed thoughtfully for a few beats, sipped his wine. I think the most negative thing I can think of is the fact that our brothers and sisters over there don't know us. And they don't seem compelled to know us. Ghanaian children can give you the names of the House of Windsor and the descendants and what happened in 1066 in Britain. But they are not taught anything about our Holocaust. It's as though there's a black hole there that they can't see through. When people see my color, when people my color are called white, you know something is wrong. They called you white? I remember from the first trip, but I was moving so fast it didn't make an impression on me. This time it did. It's when you find out that culture means more than color. We don't speak Ewe, Ga, Tree, or any of the other hundreds of languages. We come from America, we have money, we must be white. That's our culture. Wow. Yeah, that's what I said too. The thing that's scary about the whole thing is that the African is doing a crippling psycho number on his head in order to dismiss the diaspora, the genocide. I can think of Africans, male and females, who are in such a denial mode that they're actually Eurocentric. Believe me, I hate being forced to say something like that, but it's true. It's hard to say why it's true, so many factors involved. Let me give you one example. All the women, even in rural villages, straighten and perm their hair. If you suggest that that's an element of self-hatred being involved with doing their hair like that, they'll deny it. They don't really know what to make of us. I mean, in the African mind, the conquered / enslaved person is meek, subservient, docile. You see a lot of that kind of behavior, especially around Lebanese. Don't go to Ghana looking for your pride, or Nigeria, or a whole bunch of other places. There's a 90% chance you'll be taking more of it over there than you'll ever find there. He paused the fork in a few miles of vatapá. Akosua sipped her wine and looked pensive. You know, that's a far different picture than the one a lot of other people paint. I know. A lot of the sisters and brothers get over there and begin to over-appreciate everything. If the lights go off in 3 days, that's romantic. If the water stops flowing for a couple of days, they excuse it by saying, well, too much efficiency is Eurocentric or some such crap. I don't know about West Africa as a whole, but Ghana could definitely benefit from our expertise. It's a hard thing to say to the people of your ancestral land, hey, we've been in the belly of the beast. Let us share you. Let us share what we've learned. I won't say all, but many Ghanaians would prefer being bullshitted by one Englishman rather than have a dozen brothers and sisters show him the way. Are you bitter? Yeah, not really. I just feel this is an absurd situation. And I wish they would come to themselves. You ever notice the trouble ads from Ghana, from Nigeria, Angola? They never focus on African Americans because they feel it would alienate the English, the Europeans. Even the Jamaicans say, come back home, man. The Africans never. That is, unless something has changed in the last 3 days. Kojo paused to take a sip of wine, charged up. Akosua was the only person he knew who could clearly understand what he was saying. It doesn't sound promising. No, I guess not. Anytime we have to line up behind Germans, Japanese, Lebanese, and I don't know what else, as though we have no ancestral gene pool on the continent, well, you know something is messed up. I never really thought about it like that. She refilled her glasses and stared up at the stars. Kojo, a little of the heat siphoned from his mind, stared at Akosua. Akos, before it skips my mind, I'd like to invite you to a family gathering tomorrow evening. She turned to him, fully aware of the implications connected with being invited to a family gathering. Should I wear something special? You can wear what you got on if you want to. They made simultaneous moves toward each other, their urges fueled by good vibes and bourrée. Oh, let's take these things in first. No problems. What's for dessert? It all depends on you. She answered with a provocative smile. And that is the beginning of chapter 19.
Really?
All right, I'm going to stop there because it begins to become a little bit more esoteric at this point.
You know, it's so funny. You wrote that. Let's see. When did you write The Snake?
The story.
The story. Yeah.
1994.
Okay.
1995.
So that really predates the year of the return.
What?
The year of the return.
Oh.
Yes. 1994. During that time.
Wait a minute. Rodney King was 95.
Okay.
Oh, no. He was 92.
92.
92.
So it was in 1992
Yeah.
that you started writing The Snake.
Oh, I started writing in 1994.
Okay,
Yeah.
94. Okay. And so at that point in time, never would one think about Ghana or Africa thinking, calling out the year of the return. Okay, inviting us back to the motherland.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's interesting in the story where Kojo is thinking this will never happen.
Okay.
Okay, and in 1994, during that period of time prior to 2000, you didn't think of, them wanting us back.
Yeah.
As it points out, the Europeans, everybody else to visit.
Yeah.
Okay, to come and become tourists. And not too many African Americans were thinking about, I'm planning my vacation. Where will I go? Oh, I'll go to Paris. I'll go to England. Okay, Ghana.
I've been disappointed in that for a long time. But that's just for the record, to be straight. The Ghanaians, going back to Nkrumah's time, 1957 or so, when the country became independent, Ghana has always been especially welcoming to African, West Indian, and African American intellectuals. Kwame Nkrumah invited W. Du Bois. I used to sit down on his estate.
Right.
The estate they gave him and write. They made him a citizen of Ghana. This was during Nkrumah's era. Thereafter, after Nkrumah died, there was a push toward making something like the United States of Africa, and then having people from the diaspora come to the United States of Africa, especially West Africa.
Okay.
When Nkrumah died, or was poisoned or killed, or however he went, the idea seemed to have died a lot, and it was reinforced by government agencies like the CIA, who would say, what are you talking about? Diaspora, what are you talking about, the United States of Africa? So the idea was just gradually squashed. Since then, from that point on, you can go back through the travel logs and travel advisories and so forth and so on. Not one country up and down the West Coast, which is, I think, mostly where we came from, not one country has ever said that I know of, to come back to the homeland, come back to home. Recently, If you read your Essence magazine or whichever the publication came out, they had a big to-do, and a few thousands Americans, African Americans, went to Ghana.
Yeah.
Took a whole, what was it called?
It's called the Year of the Return.
Year of the Return.
Yeah.
Okay, but nobody did anything but take a lot of money over there.
2019, 2018,
Yeah,
2019.
they
yeah.
took a ton of money, but you never heard any word about something like dual citizenship.
What they talking about?
No, I mean, I know when I was there, 92, 95, they had a number of Lebanese who had become Ghanaian citizens because they went into the office of the Minister of the Interior with a suitcase full of money and bought the citizenship.
Okay.
They were offering African American citizenship if you came to the country, I think, with $50,000 and a Ghanaian partner if you wanted to open up a business, something like that.
Okay.
But for the ordinary citizens, as they say, me and you, Zola and Odie, we want to return. We've done the DNA, we've done the ancestry thing, and we discovered we have a link in Ghana, and we want to become dual citizens. Don't tell me I need to give up U.S. citizenship. We paid too much a price in blood and sweat to give this up.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they owe us more than citizenship. And if we keep looking around, well, I'm not going to get into the latest
You
murder.
digress.
I'm not going to get into the latest murder.
Okay.
The latest murder.
Right.
But they seem to be, for some reason, reluctant to grant that. In conversation, and I'm not going to belabor you with the whole thing,
Right.
but in conversation with people like Minister Owusu at the department, at the Interior, at the minister's office, he sat there and he listened to several of us, I think about 12 of us, who went to his office to talk about that. And he thought we were being very presumptuous to come to his office making a request that we become eligible for dual citizenship.
Wow.
And none of us had $50,000 to spare. So that was the end of that particular interview. The latest, most recent things show that they're very hospitable to American, specifically African American expertise, but there's no rush to say, come bring your expertise and we'll grant you dual citizenship.
Well, I guess especially in the midst of the pandemic, they have their own issues. Especially in the midst of the pandemic, they have their own issues. All right. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed chapter 18. Chapter 18. I'm looking forward to the meal that you said we'll...
What I'm saying to you is that 18 is like the middle of the book, and in the way I structured it, I wanted to build it up and up and up and up and up, so that at some point you say like, oh, wait a minute, what's going to happen now? And I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'm looking forward to the family reunion, so I hope that's in chapter 19.
Oh.
Thank you very much. The book can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Your website is www.odiehawkins.com. And those who have viewed the video, if you appreciate these moments in time, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing you again, or you seeing us again, next time.
Next time is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.